All right, so this is probably one of the most cringy videos I have ever seen in my entire life. This is Jacob Tobia on NBC News, and this video is called Let's Talk About Sex and Gender, Queer 2.0. All right, and he's essentially breaking down for us why being a biological man does not necessarily mean that you are a man or a woman. Now, every time I see one of these videos, I think it can't get worse. Like last week, we did the video of that gender specialist, or no, that sexuality expert, I'm sorry, who was saying that, babies have to give consent before you can change their diapers. You have to let them sit there in the poop and pee until they give you consent. And I thought that was the worst thing I would see for a while. But this is even more cringy. This video is 1 minute and 56 seconds of BS. Like I didn't think it was possible to sit there and just say nothing for 1 minute and 56 seconds. Jacob Tobia did it, and I'm very surprised. So we're going to watch the video here. I have it right here on the screen. There is Jacob Tobia. Clearly, as you can tell, he probably, is a master in biology, just knows everything about biology, looks very mentally stable, looks like he's had no trauma in his life, looks like the perfect person you would pick off the street to talk about sex and gender, right? So anyway, let's listen to this guy and let's kind of respond to what's going on.
Guess what? Today we're talking about sex.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
All right, hold on a minute. Okay, stop for a second. So first off, no. Don't put an 80s music video at the beginning of it. That ruined, like, the whole thing is ruined. Even if you were to come out and have a really good presentation, which they don't, but if they were to in the rest of this video, you just ruined it by putting an 80s music video at the beginning. All right? Like, what are you trying to do with that? Am I going to start dancing and be like, yeah, this guy's right, man? Like, no. You're still making yourself look like an idiot. This is, do not put an 80s music video. Tip number 1, do not put an 80s music video at the beginning of your video trying to explain the difference between sex and gender.
Yeah, dude. Sex. Woohoo! Sex?
Oh my God. All right, just keep going.
Oh my God, so fun. Okay, not that kind of sex.
Oh, dang it. Are you kidding me? Not that kind of sex? I was trying to live my life. I don't think I could ever live a complete life until I see Jacob Tobia talk about that kind of sex. No, I would rather get dragged behind a car by my thumbs than see this guy talk about sex. I mean, that's... Oh my gosh.
Later in the series. I'm talking about physiological sex. You know, what your body looks like, what you got going on in your pants, the metaphorical junk in your metaphorical trunk.
Dude, I don't understand how the cameraman isn't dying right now. Like, if I was the cameraman, I would be laughing so hard. How do you sit there and take this seriously? All right, take 2, Jacob Tobia, sex and gender, go. The metaphorical junk in your I'd be like dropping the camera. Get a new camera, I'm done. I could not do this. I couldn't do it.
Society, we give physical sex a lot of weight that it shouldn't have.
No, we don't.
When a baby
we
is
give
born,
it the weight it should have and the weight it's had for millions of years. All right? You don't get to come in here after millions of years and decide to change things. All right? You just can't do it.
and we take one look at their body and make all kinds of assumptions about who they are, what they will like, and who they...
No, okay. We don't. When a baby is born, we do not sit there and say, this baby is college bound. Like, no. We don't sit there and say they like dolls. We don't say they're homosexual. We don't assume that. Now, we do assume if they come out with there's a little thing called a penis. All right. Now, there are chromosomes, but you've got your penis. If you have a penis, usually means you're a man. All right. I mean, if we're going by what we classify the rest of the species on this planet, and, for millions of years, we've classified humans as, if you have a penis, you're a man, which usually means you like women. So it is safe to assume that if they have a penis, they're a man and they like women. If they have a vagina, yeah, we do assume that's a woman and they like men, because that's what we've been doing, again, millions of years. All right. Oh my gosh. You can't decide if they're funny. We know this. You're putting a bunch of stuff on there to make it seem like we make all these assumptions, which we don't. You can't just say we do it when doctors do not do that. All right.
Love. But did you know that sex and gender aren't
also,
the same
I want to know,
thing?
did they get consent to take that baby's picture? I feel like we need to get the sexuality, or the expert from last episode on here to see if they got consent from that baby, because it didn't look like that baby had made eye contact before they took that picture. That baby may not want their picture out on the internet. Did they get consent? We need to... Someone find that out for me, please. Figure that.
That's right. Being male and being a man are two different concepts entirely. Let's break it down.
All right.
The terms male, female, and intersex...
Well, first of all, before we get into this, I want to read the definition, all right, of sex and gender. So the definition of sex in the way that we're using the term right now is either of the two main categories, all right? Because there's only two, male and female, into which humans and many other living things are divided on the basis of their reproductive functions. Now, the definition of gender, and here's the difference: the state of being male or female, typically used with reference to social and cultural differences rather than biological ones. So the point that these transgender individuals try to make is that I may be a biological man, but I don't feel like a man. All right? So they'll say, I'm a biological man, I don't feel like a man, therefore I am a woman. But the problem is, your feelings do not trump biology. So just because you feel like a man, or like a woman, if you're a man, does not mean that you are a woman. If you have a penis, you're a man. It doesn't matter how you feel. Then you're getting into psychology, then that's your brain. All right? And that does not trump biology. So, just because you may have a mental disorder, which, by the way, being transgender has been classified as a mental disorder, just because you have that does not mean that you are actually something else. Okay? So just make that clear.
refer to your sex, what your body looks like, whereas the terms man, woman, genderqueer, and agender...
Okay, stop there. Don't start throwing in words that don't exist. I don't appreciate you throwing genderqueer in there. That word, that's not a thing. You made that up because you wanted to just, appeal to your transgender folks and your folks in love. Genderqueer, nobody sits in biology class and they're like, all right, here's man, here's woman, here's genderqueer. Like, no, they just don't do that because that word does not exist. You made that up and added that. Now they're trying to indoctrinate the kids and make them think those words have always been there. They haven't, okay? Just FYI. Those words are fake.
Are about your gender identity, about how you feel. What your body looks like and how you feel are two different things altogether.
I agree 100%.
It's like wearing...
I agree with that 100%. You can be a man, right? And you can feel like a woman. That's a thing. I don't have anything against that. That can happen. But that doesn't mean you're a woman. And that's the difference we have to point out here, is that these people are like, well, I'm biologically a man, but I feel like a woman, ergo I am a woman. It's like, no, you're not.
Glasses and liking Star Wars. Sure, a lot of people who like Star Wars also wear glasses, but you can't know that someone likes Star Wars just because they're wearing glasses.
Okay, first of all, I don't assume that because somebody is wearing glasses, they like Star Wars. I've never done that in my life. I don't know why you just brought this up. Now, if I see somebody with glasses, I do assume that their vision isn't too great. But I don't, and by the way, if I have glasses and I go into the eye doctor and I say, hey, I know I legally can't drive without my glasses, but I feel like I have really good vision. I may not. Biologically, my eyes may be inferior, but I feel like I have really good vision. Can I just drive, please, without them? I feel like I can do fine. They'd be like, no, of course not. You need to wear the glasses, right? Same kind of thing. Just because you feel like you have good vision doesn't mean you do, but you can still feel like you do. And just because somebody wears glasses does not mean that they like Star Wars. If I were to see this guy without the lightsaber and without the Star Wars shirt, I wouldn't know. And by the way, those aren't even prescription glasses. Those are 3D glasses. What the hell point are you trying to make? Look at that. By the way, I love this guy right here. It's like everyone's looking in one direction and this guy's looking the wrong way. Like, what are you looking at? Look at him. I mean, where is the screen? And by the way, did they take that picture with a flat? Like, I'm sure it's fake. They're probably not actually watching a movie, but still, come on.
Glasses. Unless they're dressed up like Darth Vader and wearing glasses, you can't make any assumptions about their Star Wars preferences at all. Sex and gender
No, and I wouldn't, because I don't care. All right? I don't care. I don't care if someone that's wearing glasses likes Star Wars or not. I don't. It makes no difference in my life. Therefore, I will never make an assumption about it. Just like I don't care if you feel like a woman. You are a man. I don't care what you feel like.
Like that too. Just because someone's sex is female doesn't mean that they also identify as a woman. And just because someone's sex is male doesn't mean that they identify as a man. Why? Because sex and gender are two different things. Exactly.
You couldn't even sync it up? Are you kidding me? It's NBC News, and they couldn't even think to sync up. It's just like you couldn't even understand what they were saying. But that's where the video ends. Literally, it closes out now. They just went for 1 minute and 56 seconds and talked about nothing. They didn't give any scientific evidence to back up their claims. They didn't get into the psychology of any of it because they know that's where their argument is flawed. They literally talked about nothing. Or literally talked about nothing. I got nothing substantial out of that video. No substance from that video. So, but it was cringy, and I did find enjoyment in it. So anyway, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the video. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and share. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any more. Click the link in the description for America Reborn apparel. Got that fire merch. So make sure you click the link in the description or go to AmericaRebornApparel.com. We have shirts, hats, jerseys, pillows now, backpacks, drawstring bags, all kind of stuff. Click the link in the description and check that out.